This is one of 3 rosemaries that I had purchased for $5. One of them perished early on. One's outside right now in the snow, and one's still up in the window, as you'll see. And this is after the first styling. I broke the top off by accident. It looks like I got a new container and sort of did it like a desert planting. Didn't work that well. 2 rosemaries I got a long time ago. I want to say since when I first started, they were $5 each, and they were just little whips at the start, just teeny little whips, maybe that tall and straight. And I sort of bent them over, and one sort of had a loop like this. What I've done is I've let them grow. I've been keeping them inside, so they're inside over the winter by my window, and I just let them grow because the internodal length just shoots out really far, and you can see the old density sort of that's in there. And then these long shoots, and this is what happens when it's in my window, right? Just as these long shoots, they're really no good to me. So over the winter I thought, well, do I trim them back and let them keep growing, trim them back, keep going? I just said, I'm just gonna let them go, let them gain vigor. And I just didn't want more, but I was kind of wary of not enough light getting into the lower needles and then them dying off and dropping off. So anyways, it's spring, so I'm going to repot this one. I kind of want this pot for a different plant, and I need to kind of make space in my window, so I need to make it kind of smaller. So I'm going to put that into a different container, and this I'm going to keep it in there. And then after I trim them, I will put them up in the windows until they start to grow again, and then I'll bring them outside because it's about time that they can come outside. Now, another thing is these have gotten some sort of spider mite, so they're just infested. I had done a spray, I want to say a month ago, but they still have a lot of mites on them. So that's another piece. So I'm going to trim them back, and hopefully we can get a better view of them and what they look like. Here's a little shot of the difference, right? You can see the old growth, and then when they go inside, they just shoot out. So yeah, that's what I'm trimming off. Yeah, so here's the rosemary. It's looking really nice. You can see, you know, there's some nice pads. It needs a little work. Like, I think some of this stuff needs to be brought down. You know, there's too much cluster in there. So a lot of this needs to be cleared out so you can see this sort of front pad. I think maybe extending this out, or possibly bringing it down and making 2 distinct pads. So I think what it needs now is, you know, it's just bushy. It needs to be, you know, made to look more proportional. There's too much foliage. The foliage is a big clump, so I need to separate them into little ones. And although it's pretty brittle, some of these will come down. I just need to flatten them out a bit and let the new growth sort of shoot in the crotches of everything. And so there's a lot of this growth here that you can see just had tons of mites on it, and so I sprayed that and sort of got it back into this form. But I'm really quite happy with it. It's just looking really, really good. And there's rosemary. I mean, I've had this indoors every winter for 3 years now, and I think I'm going to let it sit outside. I have one that I'm letting go outside. We'll see if it survives. I was going to try this one, but then I repotted it, and they're quite sensitive to the repots. So kind of brought it in, but I bet it's losing vigor. And if I keep trying to grow it inside, it'll probably just die. So I think I've gotten kind of lucky. So hopefully next year I can just keep it outside. But yeah, I'm just loving these little branches. You know, there's nice, you know, I want to see more of the branches. Maybe come down and then up. Sort of the underside of these branches a bit. So I need to go down and then up with a lot of them, with a lot of the tips. But it's quite brittle. So I've got a lot of the movement I can get out of it. You know, here's the back side, which was my original front. I think I had it styled this way, and so the apex was coming more over, which it's hard to see, you know. But so now the apex it's kind of right over, but it's not leaning over, and I really want to get some of this nice movement into it. So I think, you know, bringing this down so you can see that, maybe hiding some of this because this is a big curve here, hiding some of that with the branching, and then really highlighting this sort of lower branching, pulling it down a bit more. So it does need some work, some wiring.
I'll probably wait till spring so that when it gets outside, it's got a wire, it can just push and vigorously produce. Because I think if I do it now, it's, like I said, it's already kind of weak from being inside and having all the bugs eat it. So yeah.
I enjoyed this rosemary so much I decided to get another one. It's the same thing, $5, but yeah, this one was a failure. I think I got it in mid-July, and so maybe start July, but wired it and repotted it, and yeah, it perished, so just a failure.